Hello everyone, this is Sheila, and in this video we are learning when, and more importantly, when not to repot your succulents, because timing is important. Also, towards the end of this video, you will see a time-lapse clip showing you a lovely reason why it is important that you should learn to postpone repotting. You really need to learn when to postpone repotting, especially for succulents that we have just purchased and for thirsty succulents in our succulent garden. I'm doing a ton of repotting right now. That's why I decided to share this video. In fact, what you're seeing on your screen is just the tip of the iceberg, and I'm excited to show you all of that later too. So if you are curious to see that time-lapse video, do hit the like button, and let's talk about the best time to repot your succulents. So key point number 1, repot succulents after watering. The best time to repot succulents is about 6 to 8 days after watering. Never repot on the same day that you watered your succulents. It takes about 6 to 8 days for your succulent to absorb the water in the soil. You can do an exact reverse of this technique, and I'll explain to you how later. So for now, let's continue talking about that perfect timing, which is repotting after watering. By the way, I'm also sharing with you a very interesting fact about split rocks and how their blooms behave. Because when I was doing my research, most of the articles that I've read said that split rocks bloom in the spring or late fall. But I have a split rock, and I gotta tell you that I have a bloom now in the summer, and I'll show her to you later in this video, because this is related to our topic today, which is when and when not to repot, because timing is important. I will also share with you later why I'm going back and forth from the bloom and the clock and how this bloom behave. There are 4 main reasons why we need to repot or transplant our succulents, but these reasons have to be more important than the scenario that you will see later. Because I've heard stories about succulents like lithops dying after repotting, especially for newly purchased ones. So for now, reason number 1 on why we need to repot is when succulents in pots have already depleted the nutrients in the soil. Most commercial cactus soil mix would clearly indicate this. I suggest changing out the soil yearly or every 2 years depending on the size of the pot. Second reason why you want to repot is when succulents have become root bound. As succulents keep growing roots, the soil gets pushed out until there is barely any soil left, and what's left in the pot are just roots. This is definitely a valid reason to repot, which is so that it gets better nourishment. Third reason, which is so understandable, is when our succulent arrangement has already grown out of the pot. Most arrangements would require some makeover around the 12th to 16th month. Fourth reason is, of course, aesthetics, which is self-explanatory because there are a ton of better pots than the generic ones. As for key point number 2, succulents are weaker when they are in a period of induced drought, which is what we do to them when we don't water them. This explains why you wouldn't want to repot them when they are extremely thirsty. In fact, in a prolonged induced drought, you would notice that they would sacrifice some leaves at the base, and those leaves would dry out and not need water. They do this to lessen the amount of leaf surface to send water to. Do note though that induced drought is still the better way to go than overwatering, because too much water kills them faster than them experiencing short periods of drought. So when should you repot and when not to repot your succulents? Here's key point number 3, which is to repot when the leaves are plump enough. About 6 to 8 days after watering, you would notice that the leaves are way plumper. This is the best time to repot. Why would you want to repot while the leaves are showing good signs of hydration? It is because ideally, after repotting, you wouldn't want to water them immediately. So them being in a non-thirsty state would allow them to go 10 days to 2 weeks without needing water after repotting. Since an important factor for success with repotting a succulent is not to water them after for 8 to 10 days in seasons when temperatures are high and 10 days to 2 weeks after in cooler months, you definitely want them to be hydrated enough for them to last another induced drought after that repotting. Please note that a newly repotted succulent should stay in the shade for a good 2 weeks if the temperatures are going up in the 90s. And this brings me to key point number 4, which is to repot them in dry soil. Why? Because in the process of repotting, you break some of those roots. No matter how careful you are, there will always be roots breaking. Broken root tips are non-calloused root tips. Another important reason why you should want to plant in dry soil is because you also want the plant to recover first from the stress of repotting before they can take in any kind of moisture in the soil. Before I give you key point number 5, here is my message for you today, which is energy flows where attention goes. So if you want the good energies to flow into something positive, like a goal or a situation that you have been wanting to have, then put your attention to it, instead of putting your attention and focus into things and situations that you don't want to happen. So again, energy flows where attention goes. By the way, in case you noticed that I seem like I'm sorting everything by kind this time, it is because I'm preparing them for some future plans. So do hit the subscribe button and hit the bell icon to watch future videos. And in case you also want to check the tools and materials that I'm using in this video, please refer to the list in the description box below. And as promised, key point number 5, you can also do the exact reverse of this process, which is to repot the plant when they are really thirsty and plant it on wet soil. But make sure that you don't water for 2 weeks. So hydrated succulent, dry soil. Thirsty succulent, damp soil. And again, either way, no watering for 2 weeks and placed in a spot with a moderate temperature. Now for the highlight of when and when not to repot your succulents is to look closely at your succulents. Let me show you this very striking example. Let's look at this split rock. These are photos of him coming home here in Brentwood. I bought him on the 16th of July. If you would look closely at this split rock, he is showing signs of splitting. And so I decided not to repot. But remember, just like you, I was so excited to repot my new baby. I have this planter for her along with my other lithops, but after looking closely, I decided not to. And am I so right? Because by the 5th of August, look at what I have. Feel free to rewind and compare the middle section of each of these guys. We all know that succulents weaken a little and would show signs of wilting and would look a little sad after repotting. Since it takes some of their energy to push flowers, you would not want to disturb them while they are in that process. So bottom line is, since blooms and pups are the best rewards of these succulents, it is best not to repot when they are poised to bloom. I also want to show you that all 4 of this stalk of flowers is coming from this big mama. Here's stalk number 1, stalk number 2, stalk number 3, stalk number 4. As promised, here are all the repotting that I've done so far and a lot more to go. And the gorgeous time-lapse video is coming up soon. It is also very, very important that you acclimate your new succulents before repotting. To the left are the lithops and mimicry plants who are still busy splitting. I won't be repotting them anytime soon until this one is done with her bloom. And remember, no watering at this time too. And these guys are going to these spots. Let me show you the drainage holes on these guys. And they're all in the description down below just in case you want to check them out. And this is my jade pot. I think I have 3 or 4 kinds of jade here. I have mini pine trees here and panda ears and cousins, like the woolly kinds. I separated the variegated jade, the tricolor, and all of these guys are going on the rack too. And as you can see, I still have a lot of succulents to repot. That's why I still have a lot of pots. So yeah, from the looks of it, I'm gonna be so busy. See how I've already dug out some of the pots? I still have a long way to go. So instead of showing the rest of them, let me show you the time lapse now. Just look at how gorgeous she is. As for the very interesting fact about this split rock, did you know that the bloom starts opening every day around 4 p.m.? She's already in full bloom around 5 p.m. and this is how she looks. And then she closes around 7:30 to 8 p.m. So here's the time lapse again and my message to you, which is energy flows where attention goes. Thank you. This is Sheila again, your person on a mission for succulent fame, sending inspirations your way with every succulent. Remember to subscribe and share this video. Thank you for continuously supporting my channel.